LeBron twice. You had Golden State Warriors around you, but you went 8-1 against him in the finals games, right?
Right.
So what was the difference in Miami LeBron versus what you saw from Cleveland LeBron?
The teams I was on.
Yeah.
You know, in Indy, we were a younger team, you know, scrappy. We had an identity, and we could never reach the level that, you know, that group in Miami could get
You
to,
pushed them pretty
We
hard.
pushed them, but, you know, it was just that next step that you have to get to win. And he could get there, get any group there. Obviously, in Golden State, we had the talent and those guys who knew how to get there. And, you know, that's the only where you can, the only place you can beat him is up here. You know, big moments and things like that. So he is who he is. And I long since have accepted, you know, this guy and the level that he's at. And it's just a matter of you having the, you know, the toughness and the guts to try to compete against him. That's what it's going to come down to.
So your coach in Indiana was obviously his coach now,
Sure.
Frank Vogel. Can Frank be a championship coach?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, Frank's got a different style. You know, the way that he approaches the game. You know, he's a player-centered coach. He's got the idea that, you know, he's going to get the most out of you and invest in you. And he probably doesn't have to do it much with this group as much as he had to do it with us in Indiana. But, you know, he's going to have them up, you know, motivated, excited, you know, refreshed, feeling like...
How? Rah-rah speeches? Or...
well, he's got a us against them kind of mentality. You know, his favorite saying is something we can't say on TV.
Ooh.
But
what's the gist of it?
it's tough. You know, for him to be a coach in the position that he's in now, you know, he's got to be able to, you know, figure things out for himself.
Yeah.
But he's a guy, like I said, can get people motivated and get the best out of them.
Did he push you guys on the defensive end? Because he appears to have lit a fire under this team on that end.
Yeah, absolutely. Defensively, you know, that's sort of what we were known for in Indy, was having that defensive edge and that defensive focus.
Did he preach and teach that?
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. And he holds you accountable. And he's not one of those guys that's gonna, you know, point the finger at you and you know, get you in a defensive mode. He's going to encourage you and pull it out of you.
When you look at this team, they're number one in net defense. Now, they block about 7.5 shots, 7.8 shots a game. That's 1.5 more than second place.
Right.
That gap between them and second place is the equivalent between second place and 20th.
Right.
So they're a defensive team. Like you said, Frank Vogel is that. But what gives you the confidence? Because Skip mentioned they got 3 guys that's in the top 20 in dunks.
Right.
I think they're in the top 10, aren't they?
Top 10?
I believe so.
Well,
Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. But
they lead the league. The team as a team.
is 3-point shooting, mid-range shooting, and I think they have a lack of ability to guard the 3-point line. That's what concerns me.
Right.
Because I think they have the talent. With AD, he's been advertised, and LeBron James, I guess he isn't washed just yet, huh? Dave?
Right. Yeah, listen, they're gonna be fine. You know, there's a level that I think he knows that he can propel them to. They have the talent. You know, again, the talent is around him to get them over the threshold. The fact that they're such a threat inside, and I'm happy for my guy JaVale. You know, JaVale is a unique cat, but he can play, man.
Yeah.
And
he plays hard.
And he's effective.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's a load. You know, I think you guys are seeing it like, you know, you got to respect him out there on the floor. And, you know, the more those guys develop their identities, all of the sort of things that we look at, the markers like the 3-point line, all those things are going to be, I don't think they're going to be as important. You know, the issue with them, I think, you know, where their weakness might be, maybe at, you know, if LeBron gets tired from having to create and handle the ball a bit much, but...
Rondo played well last night.
Yeah.
I thought Rondo coming in and playing. The thing is with him is can he stay healthy, Skip? Because remember, he was playing well last year, and then he got nicked. And then he was out, you know, he got suspended, then he got nicked, and then he ended up going on IR, missing the rest of the year like LeBron did. So I think that's going to be the thing, because those are really their 2 creative guys. Those are the guys that initiate the offense, mainly LeBron and Rondo.
Right.
And if one of and they did a great job because they try to stagger AD. LeBron will leave in the first quarter. Yeah. AD finishes out. Then LeBron comes back. AD misses the first 6 minutes. But when one of those guys will always be on the floor.
Right. And then as the, you know, obviously as the games become more important,
Right.
people are going to have to deal with them on the floor for 40 minutes.
They have to deal with that. You hear that, Skip Bayless? They're going to have to deal with Braun, Goat James for 40.
He played 37 last night against the woeful Thunder, and I think it's too many too soon, but that's just me. He's in year 17. Can you sustain that? Because it's a lot of minutes. He took 9 shots in the fourth quarter. You love that?
I love it.
Okay.
I love him playing.
Yeah.
You'd rather him play as opposed to load management, right, David?
Yeah.
Imagine you had a teammate, he load management. You out there giving everything you got for 35, 40 minutes a night, and he kicked back talking about, I'll be there for you for the playoffs.
He's talking about Kawhi Leonard.
I ain't talking about
What do
nobody.
you
I ain't
think
bring up
of
no
it?
name, David. I ain't bring up no name.
Yep.
I can neither confirm nor deny that's who I'm talking about.
Right.
What do you
We
think
can
about
infer. What do you
Kawhi's
think?
load management?
Because I know Kawhi,
Yep.
there's something there in terms of the seriousness of what he's dealing with his health.
Okay.
That's the only reason. Like, I don't know, details, but I do know that dude. And I know that he's organized a certain way mentally. And
You hear that, Skip? He was hurt when he missed all that time. He was really, really hurt.
He had a thigh bruise for 7
you see what I'm saying?
games.
Nah,
Well, Shannon, there you go.
But again, Kawhi's
wired
got
different.
genuine. Yeah, he's got a genuine focus about
Okay.
the game. That
What is he like around when you were like off camera with him?
yeah, he's he's unlike anything I've seen. Just in terms of like he's always in mode and he's always ready to go. Probably to his detriment,
Right.
Because he's a guy, like, if you tell him, when I got to San Antonio, he was still fairly young, and it was one of those things like, what should I do? And if you tell him to do it, he just goes and does it.
Wow.
And I think he's sort of grown into his own more so now over the last few
So
years.
you're saying if his body doesn't feel perfect to him, he doesn't want to go out there because he wants to be perfect.
Yeah, he wants to be able to be
Yeah, right.
100%
Yeah.
on the defensive end, 100%
Yeah.
on offense. He's a guy that, again, is very regimented, and if you're supposed to hedge or get out on the ball,
Yep.
he's going to do it to the best of his ability.
So back to the Lakers. In your day and in your prime, you could really shoot the mid-range jump shot. In fact, that was your bread and butter shot. To me, maybe it's a thing of the prehistoric past. Maybe it's just sort of gone away. But going into last night, the Lakers were 27th in the league in mid-range jump shots. I don't know if it even matters because they're dunks and threes.
Right.
They weren't great from three. They were 23rd going into last night, but they shot the heck out of it.
Yeah,
last
they did.
night.
Right.
They almost made about
14
half
to
of-
31.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think they can shoot threes, but is there any mid-range flaw in there where you need to make some?
No, I think AD is going to eat up, and LeBron will eat up the mid-range scoring because what eventually will happen is the longer the season wears on, the more that their minutes are going to increase. Playoff time comes, they'll be in the 40 minutes, and then you're going to basically have teams figuring out how to guard AD 15 to 17 feet out, ISO, LeBron, same thing. And it's going to be difficult. It's a challenge I just don't think teams are built to handle right now.
I realize you have not seen Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on the court together, but if and when they're both healthy, and Doc has his complement of stars and pieces, who's better, Clips or Lakers?
I've got to go with the Lakers.
Okay.
I just think
Just on star power?
and
Yeah.
I think DeBrow is just going to be in this moment. This will be his first crack to get to the mountaintop.
Sure.
And I just think he's going to be too much himself. And then coupled with LeBron, you've got Danny Green, who's got championship pedigree, and Danny's going to be huge for them down the stretch, just in terms of how they need to focus and win games in the playoffs and the Pro Series. LeBron has obviously been there. JaVale knows what it takes. And then, the other guy that, we haven't talked about, but if, and I've not been Dwight and I have had some run-ins, but, if he stays sort of in focused, more mature, and if he's in tough guy mode where he's being aggressive and he's physically imposing himself on those second unit teams, like I said, they've got a lot to deal with.
Dave, we have a lot of guys come out here and they try to explain I'm a LeBron. You're a LeBron fan. You lead the president of the LeBron fan club.
Well, you are.
I am not. But anyway,
Oh,
you played against him, like you said. You played against him for a number of years in the Eastern Conference Finals. You played against him in finals. Just how good is LeBron? What makes him so unique?
Man, that's a heck of a question. I tell people. So the first time I ever saw him play, just to give you some context, he had finished his freshman year in high school, and I had finished my freshman year at Xavier.
Okay.
And I was a counselor at 5-star camp.